Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj are beefing, and finally we are going to talk about it. But first, let me give you a little bit of backstory on who is Remy Ma and obviously who is Nicki Minaj and how we got to this point. So Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj both came from New York, and in the early aughts, Remy Ma was undisputably the queen of the New York rap scene. But there was a friendly rivalry between her and up and coming at that point, Nicki Minaj. So Nicki Minaj called her out in July 2007 in her Playtime Is Over tape. She said, she referenced that bitch with the crown. But so it's still sort of a playful rivalry or whatnot, but.
Right, the kind of thing where even though you're digging it, you're calling her a bitch, she has the crown.
She has the crown.
Acknowledge that.
Right, there's a mutual respect going on. In 2008 is when things get a little dicey because Remy Ma is incarcerated. Well, she's convicted and sentenced in 2008.
For what, do we know?
Yes, she shot a friend in the stomach because she thought that friend had stolen about $3,000 from her purse. So we'll hear the purse line come up, the bag line come up in later beefs with Nicki, but she was incarcerated and did about 6 years. She was sentenced to 8, but did 6 for good behavior, good for her. Now, while she was behind bars, she was of course
after she shot her friend in the stomach, she was a real peach.
Look, okay, so after she was, when she was behind bars, she was still asked about Nicki Minaj because Nicki's career started really exploding, and it's only natural that you would ask, someone who also was on the up and up, how she felt about it. And she had really nice things to say about Nicki even behind bars, just alluding to her success. And then also when she was out in 2014, she did an interview with Hot 97. She called Nicki a wonderful woman. And she said that she wasn't gonna come for her because she didn't believe in, quote, tearing a successful black female that's doing what she's supposed to be doing down. So that's where things were good, everything was happy. Then June 2006, Remy actually tweeted at Nicki to say congratulations for her BET Female Rapper of the Year award, for which Remy was also nominated. And Nicki responded, OMG, thank you, Remy, that means so much. Congrats to you as well for an exciting year. What's worth noting is still at this point, there's this mutual respect, at least especially coming from Remy's side.
Hearts and kissy emojis.
And then also I found a video from BET's YouTube page where it's like rate these bars, rate my bars, and where a rapper will go on and they'll be given some bars without who the lyricist or rapper is, and you have to say how you would rate them out of 5. And in that video, Remy gave herself the highest score, but second to that, she gave, unbeknownst to her, Nicki's bars the highest score. She thought that was a really good verse that she was handed. So you still see that there's talent on both sides here. And then in 2006 is when things get a little bit dicey, November of 2006. So remember, the BET Award, that was in June. By November, things are getting a little dicey here. Things are getting a little sketchy. So Fat Joe and Remy released the song Money Showers, and on that, Remy says, bitch claiming she the queen, what? Not hardly. Who the fuck gave you the crown, bitch? Steve Harvey.
I love it.
It's a great line.
It's a great line. Who wrote that one?
Remy. So if anything is coming from this, we've seen people come for other rappers before that just didn't have the bars. I said that with the Meek Mill Drake battle. Yes. I don't feel that Meek had the bars for Drake, at least especially in back-to-back. But in this case, Remy is just, they're equally very talented individuals. And then this is all coming to a head in 2017 in February, so just this past month, because Remy releases Sheether on SoundCloud. So that's also notable. She didn't release it on iTunes, it wasn't for sale, it was just on SoundCloud. There's no chorus in there, there's no hook, it's just a battle like rap. Yeah. It's a 6-minute diss track, and in there she is rapping over NASA's instrumental of Ether. So like on top of all of this, there's just so much going on. And she just says, fucking Nicki Minaj at the beginning of it. She's talking about her plastic surgery. She's talking about lines that she feels Nicki has stolen from her, and people went pretty crazy over it. Then she released another diss track called Another One in March 2017, but people did not like that. The reaction was overwhelmingly negative, and so she ended up taking it down. And then she appeared on BuzzFeed's Another Round, the podcast, and Nicki thus far had not yet responded. So when she was asked about the beef with Nicki that she had absolutely instigated. She says, quote, "It just bothers me that picking apart another female is what went viral. We could have done this working together. It wasn't me. I just think it would have been cooler if we came together and did something crazy, and that's what everyone was talking about. I don't regret it. I'm just not particularly proud of it." Well, Nicki has clapped back. She released the song No Frauds on iTunes. It's actually been breaking some iTunes records. It is a big hit featuring Lil Wayne and Drake. What is also notable is that Remy Ma didn't have any features on her diss track, so that's what some people are saying, like one is a song, one is a single, and one is a diss track.
The timeline.
Right, the timeline is interesting. And so on No Frauds, just to make it very clear that this is a song, or at least Nicki's verse is about Remy, she says, "Tried to drop another one, you was itching to scrap, you expose your ghostwriter, now you wish you were scrapped. Heard your pussy on Yuck, I guess you need a pap. What type of bum bitch shoot a friend over a rap?" So, yeah. And then when, a lot of people were saying this is-
You're in need of a pap.
Yeah, it's a great, I mean-
That's a great line.
They're both very talented people.
What a smear, it's itself a smear.
What a smear, what a smear campaign.
Term.
So when people were saying, hey, Nicki, this isn't a diss track because you have features on it, this is, it's not on par. It's like different. It's a different game than what Remy started.
Right.
She says, "Young Money, we don't do diss tracks. We drop hit records." So that was her response to that, and a lot of people are agreeing with her. We have Selena Gomez, my girl, Jhené Aiko. I know I always mispronounce her name. I'm so sorry. And Tinashe also. Filmed videos of themselves singing No Frauds in their cars, and Nicki put that on Instagram, just saying that she has the support of all her big celebrity friends and that the song is doing so well. No Frauds is on iTunes. I mean, there's just so much to digest here. I don't know if I'm on any side because I really feel like they're playing two different games.
Right, but that's the thing. Okay, so when you get into a beef in any form, whether it's rap or political or anything, what you want to do is dictate the way the fight goes down. And if you're Nicki, you don't want to be pulled down into a fight you can't necessarily win, because Remy's really good at the diss track. Now, Nicki is as well, but why put yourselves on equal footing when you can stay the queen? Because at one point that dynamic was inverted. Nicki was down as the scrapper and Remy was the queen.
Right.
It took going to jail and years for Nicki to get up to the top. Not to say she wouldn't be able to, but when you're Nicki at the top now, why would you? Why would you go down in the dumps? Now, in the dirt to fight, the way that the new, the ex-queen wanting to be the queen again wants you to.
And also furthermore to that point, because I really think you hit the nail on the head with that. Nicki has said that she would pay Remy a large monetary sum if she could book any interviews without mentioning her name within the next 72 hours.
In a completely unrelated note, I for years wanted to be interviewing Remy Ma just about general stuff in her life. And the amount I'm willing to pay for that is about half of $500,000, assuming that the funder, who is to remain nameless, follows through on her end of the bargain. What I'm saying is, come here, we'll split it.
Well, yeah, come on, Pop Trigger. We will not ask you
about anything, but we'll talk about shoes for a while.
I would love to talk about shoes with Remy Ma. I think that it is really interesting how the tables have sort of turned here, because what I don't know when I was looking through this story is what exactly changed where Remy went from congratulating Nicki on her hard work and on her well-deserved success, because Remy herself said in the BET thing about rating bars that that Nicki had some of the best bars that she was given. She was given bars from Lil Wayne that she rated like as 1.2. She was given bars from Fat Joe that still didn't get to Nicki's level. And I don't know what turned here. Was it just that she was looking for a little bit notoriety? I find that hard to believe because she is so talented. She already was nominated for a Grammy for All the Way Up. She doesn't really need to go down here.
I don't hope that most beefs are fake, but this one I hope is fake, because I want these former like Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa types, where it's like these two people respect each other, they get along, they say great things about each other's game, and when you see them in the ring, you don't know who to pull for.
Right.
I want it to be fake, where Nicki's like, listen, we'll get you back to a certain amount of status. But it just seems like Nicki's doing the smart moves. She's not doing the moves I would respect if I'm just a normal spectator. Like, I would respect it more if they just went toe to toe and fought it out. But I kind of respect the idea where she's just like, listen, I got Drake here, I got Lil Wayne here.
Right.
I got the most popular person on Instagram or whoever just sending these out on my behalf. Like, why wouldn't you? She's using all of her
And also,
weapons.
why would, she could release the song for free on SoundCloud, which you would do for the art of it, for the sport of the game of diss tracks going back and forth. Or she could release it on iTunes and know that people will buy it and send it to the top of the charts, which it is, and get all that revenue. Do you fault her for that? I don't know. I'm not sure, but we want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Finally, we're talking about this Remy Ma Nicki beef. We want to know whose side you're on. What do you think is going on here? Could it all just be for show to get Remy a little bit more followers in the game? Who knows? But don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.